Everyone kept telling me how proud they were. My family, my friends, they all looked at my new sober life and saw this huge success story. But they had no clue I was keeping a secret. That behind this perfect picture of sobriety, I was more anxious and tangled up inside than I ever was when I was drinking. From the outside, you would have thought I had it all figured out. And don't get me wrong, hearing congratulations felt good. It was like, yes, I finally did it. I was finally the person everyone hoped I'd be: productive, reliable, clear headed. My job was taken off. I felt healthier than ever. I was hitting the gym, showing up for the people I loved, and slowly rebuilding trust. I was basically the poster child for recovery. People would say things like, "You just seem so calm now, so put together," because that was the whole point, right? To prove I was over it, that life without alcohol was this serene, manageable thing. I was projecting total composure, but it was an act and it was exhausting. But what nobody saw was the absolute chaos happening in my head. What nobody knew was that behind the highlight reel, my own mind was turning on me. The anxiety I always blamed on the alcohol, it was back. And this time, it was the main event. I remember standing at a friend's party holding a sparkling water, smiling and nodded while someone told me a story. But inside, my heart was pounding. My brain was screaming one word: escape. All I could think about was getting out of there, being alone, being literally anywhere else. Social events that alcohol used to grease the wheels for now felt like minefields of panic. This wasn't the happy, peaceful sobriety I'd been promised. This was high functioning anxiety, where I looked like success, but internally battling constant, crippling worry. The nights were worse. I'd just lie there wide awake, my mind replaying every conversation from the day, obsessing over a to-do list that never ended. It was this humming, restless feeling that something was deeply wrong, even when everything on paper was so right. And for the longest time, I was convinced I was just failing at sobriety. I kept asking myself, why am I much more anxious now? It turns out sobriety wasn't failing me, it was finally showing me the truth. For me, alcohol was never the actual problem. It was the medication I was using to shut up a problem that was already there. Here's the wild thing I learned. Alcohol is a depressant, meaning it slows down your brain. It does this by cranking up GABA, the chemical that tells your brain to chill out, while shutting down glutamate, the chemical that says go, go, go. When you suddenly take the alcohol away, your brain tries to rebalance itself and basically slams on the gas pedal. It floods your system with go signals, which can lead to intense hyperactivity. It's a real thing called post-acute withdrawal syndrome, and it can last for months. All the emotions I've been successfully drowning for years, the shame, the fear, the insecurity, were suddenly right there at the surface. Sobriety didn't give me anxiety, it just ripped off the bandage and made me finally look at what was underneath. My nervous system had literally forgotten how to calm itself down and was in full-blown crisis mode without its chemical crutch. And figuring that out was a massive turning point. I wasn't broken, my brain was just healing. And the anxiety wasn't me failing. It was a signal that I needed new tools. The old one, bottle was off the table. So I started building a new toolkit. First, I had to get back into my body. Instead of trying to run away from the anxious feelings, I learned how to breathe through them. It sounds so simple, but deep breathing exercises really do tell your body it's safe to relax. Daily movement always became a non negotiable, not as punishment, but just as a way to burn off that frantic energy. Second, I finally got professional help. Therapy, especially CBT, gave me ways to challenge the perfectionism and the what if spirals that were fueling my anxiety. I started to learn that a racing thought is just a thought, and I don't actually have to believe it. Most importantly, I had to completely change my definition of what a successful, sober life looks like. It's not about being perfect, it's about being honest. It's about being brave enough to sit with the uncomfortable feelings and admit, even just to yourself, when you're not okay. Sobriety didn't magically fix all my problems. It just showed me the ones I'd been avoiding. The anxiety still pops up sometimes, but it doesn't run the show anymore. It's not some shameful secret I have to hide. It's just part of my story. If any of this feels familiar to you, if your sober life has felt more chaotic than calm, I need you to know that you are not alone and you are not failing. It's a sign that you are healing. Share one thing in the comments that surprised you on your own journey. Let's talk about the real stuff because that's where the healing actually begins.